And when we come back, still questions surrounding those new dietary guidelines. We'll take a look at some of the myths behind products health officials are now giving the green light.
The recommendation for saturated fats in our diets made decades ago, well, they're now changing. New dietary guidelines are now bringing back certain foods containing saturated fats and cholesterol in people's diets, which is creating many questions about these new changes. And joining me today is Dr. Jonny Bowden, also known as the Mythbuster, to tell us a little bit about these changes, because at one point we were hearing some of these things on this very table were bad for you. You shouldn't eat them.
And people are still hearing that, and it's wrong. There have been 2 major studies in the last 4 years that have shown that saturated fat has no relationship to heart disease. We have just been sold a crock of you-know-what. And what we've been doing is replacing these normal, healthy fats from real whole foods like eggs and nuts and cheese and butter with all of these processed carbohydrates.
Right,
and it's
me.
made us fat, sick, tired, and depressed.
Right, so what should we do now? Because this is, I look at that, that's like the 90s diet. It's low fat.
Exactly.
You know, but it's high in sugar, essentially.
It's hugely high in sugar, and even when it doesn't seem like it's high in sugar, it converts to sugar in the body in a
like
heartbeat.
The rice.
And we treat it exactly, the body treats it the same way. So first thing, I guess the take-home for today is switch some of our cooking oils. These corn oils and vegetable fats are very inflammatory, and they contribute to heart disease and every degenerative disease we know by causing inflammation. I would love to see some of the saturated fats that are now being redeemed get back into the kitchen. Tropical oils like coconut oil and particularly Malaysian palm oil, these are wonderful oils to cook with. They are not inflammatory. They stand up to heat pretty well, 300 or so temperature without smoking. And I particularly like Malaysian palm oil because palm oil, it's a great oil. It's very healthy, but it has some environmental bad raps. And in Malaysia, they are so sustainable and so environmentally conscious that if you get your palm oil sourced from Malaysia, it's going to be fine. And the reason it's got this red is because it's got nutrients, carotenoids, all the things that make red fruit so good for you.
Right.
So this is a good oil to use. Coconut oil is good too. Malaysian palm oil. We got to get rid of the corn oil and the safflower oil and the sunflower oil and all those other high omega-6 vegetable oils.
And we can bring the butter back in as well.
Butter